Andy, you drinking water now?
Yeah. I did it before. Yeah, now I do.
Are you a vegan? That's what Trinity says. Trinity says she's a vegan. I said, what is that? She's like, it's like vegan, but for water, I don't drink water.
I've never heard.
Can we, before we start recording, can we go around as a community and talk about Andy's hair? Just as a community.
It's nice and full and curly.
It looks
Nice,
good,
full,
Andy.
curly, looks good.
Yeah.
Nancy, what are we thinking?
It's
I
like
always talk about his hair though, so he knows
fresh
how I
cut
feel about it.
Fresh cut.
on the side. We've embarrassed him.
Alex,
A door opened since the last podcast, so I was able to get a haircut.
Oh my! It wasn't like that earlier.
No, it was a lot bigger, a lot like afro-ier.
Got it.
Yeah.
My brothers,
Afro-ear.
after I came back from getting my perm, my brothers immediately, as soon as I walked into the car, were like, "You look like Michael Jackson."
Oh my
like, okay.
gosh. Andy, what's your
No.
itenicity?
Hispanic.
Okay.
No, I look Puerto Rican.
His
I
hair's
look
super
Puerto
straight.
Rican
Puerto
after-
Rican?
No, I'm not
Oh.
Puerto Rican.
Okay.
I just looked it right now because
Got
of my hair.
Alize, what do you think about the hair?
We're not twins anymore.
That's what I'm grieving a little bit because like from behind.
You guys.
You can't tell the difference.
From the back, we had the same length. And so then, like, people were like, "You have the hat on."
What?
when they shot the Walk It Out promo, and which one of you guys were on the zip line? Was it Andy?
It was both of us were
but-
on it, but
Got it. But so like Alize is on the zip line, and Jermaine's like, "Go Andy, go Andy."
because we were wearing the same Beyond the Letter shirt, we had the same. We were both wearing helmets, so it was from the back. You really couldn't tell.
Got it. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Letter. Man, I'm happy. I got my brother H on here.
Yo.
I got my wife on here.
Hello.
I got Alyssa, the CEO of Patriot Kids, on
What's
here.
up, guys?
I got a bone to pick with Alyssa.
Oh yeah.
Here
Let's
we
wait
go.
until we start recording.
I got a bone to pick. She's wearing the cutoff shirt. You see her on social media. She'd be like gangs and everything like that. So I forgot what we were talking. I forgot how we got to the comment. But she was like, yeah, I was in the gym. I was doing leg press. Do you know what leg press is? I'm like,
You said you're a context guy. I was trying to make sure you had all the context.
jeez, wait, do you remember what we were talking about?
It's because
What
she
was it?
saw
It was
your
a
little.
deadlift.
Oh, deadlift.
She saw your
deadlift,
little
yes.
chicken legs and was like, "Does he even know
Half
what
the
leg
people in this
press
room
is?"
probably don't even know what a deadlift is. So
So what were we talking about before you dissed my life?
VBS, because Cedric was going to come in
yes.
and do a really heavy deadlift, and I had to make sure he had all the
He was
context.
like, hold up. Do you know what a deadlift is?
He
And
said,
he hasn't let me live it down. That was 2 months ago in 3 days. No,
Nice. So you work out today, Alyssa?
I did.
Oh, what's
What
a
time
workout
do you work
for you?
out?
Like,
It
"Oh,
depends.
today's Wednesday."
Yeah, today's
so-
Wednesday.
okay.
could you encourage my wife to work out?
Let's go. We can go together. So here's the thing. I do not like cardio. I'm not a big cardio person.
Okay.
That's why I just refuse to join the run club because you won't catch me running.
Okay.
Really ever.
Me neither.
But I like to do strength training.
Okay.
So my version of cardio is really like Stairmaster and row, but I do a lot of like lifting.
I had a row machine once. My husband made me give it away.
Hey,
That's not helping.
anybody want to buy a Peloton bike?
Negative.
Ooh.
It's not for
Nope.
sale. I'll get on
That's
it.
what I did this morning is Peloton.
Oh, on the bike?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Wait, question. Didn't you play soccer?
Yes.
Soccer's all running.
I know.
Well,
a
here's
lot of running.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
All you do is run back and forth.
So here's the kicker. I was a goalie.
Cheat code.
Makes sense now. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, got it.
Got it.
I get that a lot.
Wait.
That's great.
So Alyssa, you used to work in corporate. Would you ever wear a cutoff shirt to like your job? Like, would you, like,
I mean, like a blouse, of course,
Okay.
like like a silk blouse or something, but
Yeah.
not like no. But this is how I justify every time I go to the bookstore. I'm like, babe, this is my uniform. Just like how you kind of have like a suit that you have to wear to
Got
work. This is the uniform that
That's good.
we get to wear to work.
I feel like if
good.
it has
love
Patria
it.
in it, you're in dress code. But I remember when 2023, our world was higher for the year. And then the shorts dropped, and they were higher as well.
I remember. Yep.
So then I put them on. I'm like, babe, is this a little too much? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, she's showing them thunder
Thunder.
thighs.
Yes.
Oh no.
Hey, so we have Pastor Heron and we had Alyssa on here, and I think it's dope that they're on because we just recently did like a staff competition, and we wanted to get some athletes to be the leaders of this competition. So Pastor Heron, he leads our all of our youth and young adults, and then Alyssa, she leads our kids, but they're both great athletes. So they were able to pick people for dodgeball. So we did staff dodgeball. And I would love to just do like a press game release
Oh,
for both of you guys. So I want to first hear from
I
Alyssa.
missed that. I wanted to be here so
You
bad.
know, it still
Were you guys on
hurts.
opposite team?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were captains of opposite teams.
Okay.
And I told Pastor Heron after, I'm like, dude, like, who's that good at dodgeball, first of all? Because, so in my head, and this is just a big excuse, but it is the excuse we're going to use here. So in my head, I've been thinking, like, we're going to use, like, the standard dodgeball, like, you know, full on, like, when you hear it hit someone, it goes bink, that type of dodgeball. But when we get there, it's like these really soft, small, squishy foam, you know, balls. I'm like, who can throw with this? So that's my excuse, and we lost. But it was for fun. It was for community. It wasn't to win or
Team
lose.
building.
Yeah, it was
Team
team
building.
building.
What was your guys' team name again?
Peacemakers.
Peacemakers. Cue the music.
It's gonna be the leaves falling like. Oh.
Right,
No,
right,
our,
right.
They lost.
our team name was not like us. We had theme music. We had dancers. We had this. We had,
We should have just did a dance competition.
Y'all look good. Y'all look good.
Y'all had
the swag.
dancers?
We had
They
swag.
had all the swag.
We had unity. We had meetings. Like
Well, that's
we
usually what
collaborated.
losing
We
teams
did.
have. Like they have a whole lot of fluff, but not a lot of game. I mean,
So, Pastor Heron, what was your team name, and what are some post game reflections?
Our team name was Team Average Joes. So when Pastor Nathan asked me to put it together, I was like, man, we need to make sure that the teams are divided evenly. So
Okay.
so I got the roster off
Time to
of
tell on
Slack,
yourself.
and then from there we just put people on tiers: level 3, level 2, level 1.
What
They're
level-
all
what
going to
level-
ask
what
what
level-
tiers they were
Right,
on.
So,
wait.
so I'll be
like-
honest,
What did
level
you say?
1 was all
Tiers.
guys.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah, I was
oh.
looking at that. I was like,
Yeah, and
really?
level
I
2
wasn't
was,
even
you
on
know,
tier
Was
1.
was that based on muscle,
Just
strength,
based
height?
off,
Like
yes.
what?
Just like I'm looking at you, I'm okay. That
you
person.
should like she's a tier 3 all the way up to the
Totally
bottom.
judgmental.
Why weren't these tiers released on Slack? Like and just send it to the channel on
Yeah,
staff.
people had
meeting.
What was the
questions.
reasoning behind that?
Because we knew that they would hate us the rest of the year. I
That's
don't
true,
know.
that's true.
But hate him more so because I didn't put the tiers together.
Yeah. Well, that was the only way to be even, because you don't want to be the last person being picked on. It's like middle school basketball. You know?
Oh, you had to call
I get
people
you.
out.
I get you. You know, it's like,
I definitely
let's
wanted to do that, though.
evenly
Oh.
Just put people in tiers and then pick
That'd have
from
been way
each
better.
tier every round. So,
I'm like, what is it, the combine? Like, we didn't get to see like everything that they
That's
have to
true.
offer.
yeah.
You should have had them do like a little obstacle course.
But hey,
before,
we
and then-
let you
then
pick first, so you had
pick your
first
team.
dibs.
Who'd you
on-
pick first? Who was your
Don't
first
sit here
round
and
pick?
lie like that. So we agreed. We said we're both going to pick these two individuals and just start it off even. You don't act like I had some type of upper hand. Oh my goodness.
Who were the first 2 people picked?
Alexis and Alexis.
Oh, the A's and A's.
The A's and
It just
A's.
made sense.
It just made sense because
Okay.
you don't want to be like, I want to pick the strongest guy. So it's like we'll pick.
So what
in
I'm
between.
hearing you say is that neither of them were strong.
We're trying to get to the root of this.
I mean,
trying to get to
I'm like the news
Well, you
reporter
know-
asking them tough questions.
Dodgeball is a game of strength.
Okay. So what you're saying is there was some lacking.
I felt some type of way when we lost. It was such great staff engagement. We had a lot of
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
Even though my team we were on the losing end. But then Pastor Herring must have got really happy about this victory because he just started sending these pictures of these moments that I didn't even know people were taking
Right.
pictures. So then there's this picture of me. Remember me and you? We were just like
Yeah.
crying.
It just,
One
and we
person
looked so
stooped over.
defeated. I think I just had my hands on my knees like, oh.
I'm like, man, we gotta rematch. We definitely gotta rematch that.
Is this going to be an
For sure.
annual thing?
We're gonna have to do something annually, and we're gonna have to do the teams better. You know, I didn't agree with Pastor Heron having Tuck on his team. Tuck is always dressed for dodgeball. like so it's just like, how did Tuck get on your team? He ended up being the champion of the entire staff. No, duh. He's dressed and prepared for it every day. He comes in with vests and oatmeal and tights.
But you guys
it's
had a
like-
Barefoot
sleeper,
shoes.
Matthew.
You said what?
You guys had a sleeper.
I heard
Matthew
about him. I
man,
heard
he's a game changer.
Hey,
You-
yeah.
Yeah,
So
shout out to
we had
Matthew.
Tuck with you, Matthew.
Shout out to Matthew.
man.
Doing splits in the air, jumping. I'm like,
Yeah, he's mad flexible. I know he's creative. I didn't know he was that flexible.
And he was
Yeah.
doing this in jeans too. Like, can we acknowledge that? Like in jeans and like a sweatshirt.
yeah.
I was like, this guy's good.
Yeah, did he keep
He's
his
like-
cardigan
Yeah,
on?
and had
when he
like
was
a
doing it?
cardigan on, like not even a hoodie, but like a nice cardigan and jeans.
He left a good first impression.
Right.
Yeah.
But next year's MMA.
Oh,
What?
MMA.
I
Gotta
got
take
Gage.
it up
I
a
got
notch.
I will
Gage.
make sure I
my
don't
pick is
miss that
Gage.
one.
I got Gage, Pastor Gage. I'll take Pastor Gage.
Right, there you go.
You just want to fight people?
I'm just
Put on
She's
some
dressed for
gloves.
it.
Put on some gloves.
just taking us up a notch every year, you know.
Oh, man.
Got it. So, question for the athletes on this side. So, first question is: would you consider Aaron and Erica athletes?
That's a good question.
It's okay, be honest.
Go ahead, Pastor Heron.
So, what's your definition of athlete?
See, don't try to counsel me. No.
There we go.
So
Here's your training, buddy.
I realized.
Report.
I know that I'm a cheerleader on the sideline. So I'm
Okay,
good.
I'll go first. I think you're an athlete because you post and you run,
Okay.
right? So you're active.
Okay.
So athletes, they're active. They work out and exercise. I don't know.
I'm a
about
dancer. I grew
Erica.
up dancing. Okay, I'm a
don't-
cheerleader on the sideline.
I haven't seen her post anything that reflects working out or anything of that nature. So
You're right. I mean, I could play softball.
There you go.
No, you could. No, my wife is an excellent swimmer.
That I am.
That's how you have to be
go.
really athletic
See?
to swim.
No, she's an excellent swimmer.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was teaching our girls how to like time it, flip, go back around, and the other.
I used to swim competitively.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
huge.
Long
I'm
time
not
ago.
gonna discount that.
Hey,
Long time ago.
did you guys see those? And I want to go interview you guys in a second. But did you guys see those? Like in the Olympics, they have these swimmers that dance in the water.
It's
I don't
called
know what it's
synchronized
called.
Swimming.
That blew my mind. The last time I saw that was like Austin Powers.
You know what blows
And I
my
was like,
mind
okay.
about them? That
Yeah.
their makeup and hair stays flawless through
Yeah.
the whole time.
yeah,
But it's because they
Crazy.
like glue it down.
Right.
How do you keep your nose from burning? Like when you're upside down.
You blow out.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
All you got to do is close your sinus in the back, and water won't go in.
Got it.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
See, yeah.
I just think that.
So then I have a question. Are all of you guys the people that hold your nose when you jump in the water?
No.
Well, now that you described it like a punk, like what am I gonna respect?
Cannonball.
Will she respect me if I say yes?
yeah.
Well, are you that type of person? Who's gonna be like, yes, he is I.
I mean, it's the same thing. You just
Yeah, I didn't know. Like when for one, I think they made the water more clearer, like so you can see underneath. So you can't pee in that pool for sure. Like you can't. You will be outed. So I don't know
For
what they
sure.
did there, but like the synchronization was phenomenal on a different level.
Facts.
So, athletes, what's if you would be able to make the Olympics, but it couldn't be soccer, and it couldn't be basketball, what would it be?
Break
And why?
dancing. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the breakdancing competition?
Come on.
Man, I mean, if I right now, no, I could not do it. But if you gave me 4 years to train, hey, I mean,
Possibly. Yeah.
maybe
Breakdancing?
based on what I saw, right? The talent that we were able to see.
That was an outlier. There was some good talent in there.
there was.
We watched it. There was some good talent.
yeah.
There was another but see, this person has their education in it.
Oh.
But my question is,
know
what's the, there has to be some filter. They had to go through some kind of tryout, right?
For sure.
How do you justify seeing a tryout with thousands of people, and to say, hey, we want them to.
Well, I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Like, because the Olympics, you're representing the whole country, and if she's the top of the top, then there had to be a trial period.
They said she did. They said that she went through the.
Is there footage, video of that?
I would love to like hit up Australia and just be like, "Yo, who's your top 10?" Because
Right.
what if she was in the top? Because if that's the best that the country has, that's the best the country has, and that's fine. So that's just, I don't have. I'm trying to stay positive. I think like because that's such a great moment to like be at the like height of your craft, right? Like, and like for that to be like one of the biggest moments of the Olympics now that people are talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
that's-
So
and
that,
not in a great way.
yeah, like
But it is
so
hilarious.
it is very hilarious. I
It
love.
motivated me. I think I could make. I really think I could make it.
Have
No,
me
no.
dancing.
No, my wife. Yeah, she texted me. She was like, I could have been an Olympian.
Right. There was a couple of them where I'm like asking Beth when we're watching, I'm like, where does this happen though? Like if they're representing USA, like where are these like practices taking
who decided
place?
to say breakdancing was
An
an
Olympic
Right,
Olympic
but there was
sport
a couple
and
other
not
sports
baseball,
that I've
and not
never
baseball.
seen before.
We were
Baseball
having
is a sport,
we were
for
having
sure.
that question because it's an art form, right? Like break. Him and I were discussing that like one of the things with breakdancing that makes breakdancing like such a great thing to watch is when they cipher, you have crowds around people usually breakdancing and hyping it up, and the vibe is just elevated. It was just they're some great dancers. It was just different watching them on a stage
Yeah.
without that extra.
Right, especially if you grew up watching You Got Served. Because I'm thinking, we're going to see the finale. Like,
Yeah.
She said, I was going to say, especially watching breakdancing. That tells my age. You got served breakdancing. Breaking. That's what you don't remember that movie? No, I'm going to send it your way.
yes, and to me.
It'll be in black and white probably.
It will not.
That's wild.
Yeah, I
Let's leave her alone.
Yeah, that's what- yeah.
She's been through it.
but I think there's like this. I think there's like this tension of like you could be educated in something, and you can't really apply it in the real world to get results. Like there's things like yesterday, Trinity asked me, "Dad, how much do I have in my bank account?" Right, my 11-year-old, and you have $7. She's like, cool, because she wanted to buy something for $6. Perfect. So she got something for $6.53. But I'm saying that to say like my wife and I are trying to train our daughters. Hey, if somebody's at a register, don't look to me. You talk to an adult. Like you engage. You have your debit card. You're right. We're trying to train because that's not taught in school. Like you go to, what happens is like you learn about accounting and economics and so forth at like a level that you can't apply once you go to college. And then what happens when you go to college, there's all these tables of you getting your credit card because now you can get a credit card, but nobody taught these kids how to manage money, right? So I just use that as like an example of like, this woman is probably thinking, since I know so much about breakdancing, then I must be the best at breakdancing. I can know a lot about being a husband, but that doesn't mean I'll be a good husband, right? Like, so I think
Right.
like there's like these things that we can learn in a classroom that may not have practical application in where we're at today in life.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
good.
I will say that from what I last heard, I don't know if it's the state of California or nation, they're requiring high schoolers to finish like a life class like that teaches
It's called
some
life?
basic like
Yeah.
understanding of finance
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that needs to be mandatory.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in effect this year, but I know that they passed some law. But
Would they allow adults like yourself to go through that, or just like the budgeting and just?
I know how to budget. Now, do I choose to stick to it is different.
FPU.
Hey, that saved our marriage. You feel me?
Yeah, it sure did. Yeah. I always say Jesus and Financial Peace University saved us from divorce.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so back to you can't do soccer, You can't do basketball. You would pick breakdancing. That's what you would choose.
Just seems so fun. Like imagine like training for that.
Okay. Breakdancing.
Okay.
What about you, H?
Probably the sport I'm playing right now, pickleball.
I was gonna say
Oh,
dodgeball.
So it's a possibility that pickleball will be part of the 2028 LA.
It has to be, right? Like, it has to be.
If table tennis is, why wouldn't pickleball?
Right.
And regular tennis. I
And
mean, it's a
badminton
mix.
is part of Olympics. You know, that's another form of racket sport, and
Yep.
so on and so forth. But here's an interesting fact about racket sports.
Okay.
They did a study, and they say that people that live the longest play these 5 top sports, and the number one sport, soccer is included in that as well, is a form of racket sport. Tennis, badminton. They say it prolongs your life to 6.2 years.
Ooh.
What?
Yes.
I'm gonna start playing.
Is it because of
Makes
hand-eye
sense.
coordination?
Just for that.
Eye coordination, community. You're using your brain when you're on the court. It's not, so it's exercising.
That makes sense.
And I'm like, oh, interesting. There's a documentary called Blue Zone that came out on Netflix. Check it out. Talks
I
about that.
will.
Yo, that's
Hey,
crazy.
pickleball's fun.
It is.
I've played once, and I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I've played.
I
once as well.
feel like I'm not athletic, but I can pick things up easily.
Mm-hmm.
And pickleball was something I picked up.
Remember when we went and played basketball?
Yeah,
That one time?
basketball is not my
One
sport.
time. You were shoving the ball in the air.
I admit where I'm good, and
Yeah.
not where I'm not. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I there is a time in my life where I really thought I was good in basketball. Like stop laughing. The disrespect.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, the disrespect. So like, I realized I was good at making jumpers. I was not good in basketball, right? So like, as a kid, like we would always look for an open gym. Who has an open gym? Man, who has a key to get into the gym? We would sneak into gyms, blah, blah, blah. It was always a dream to have a gym, right? But there would be these guys that they weren't good in basketball, but they had access to the gym. So that you become their friends. So now we can go play basketball, blah, blah. And then we pick them up on the team because they got the access. So once we launched ALFC Pomona, now Patriot Pomona, it has a gym. So then we was like, hey, let's start inviting young guys to come through, right? And then like we started playing, and it hit me. I'm like, I'm the old guy.
They don't know how to play.
People
with
are
the
only
keys.
picking me up because I'm the pastor and I got the keys. They're not picking me up because I'm good. Wait,
They're all
you've
fighting
been
like
here.
me and
You've been
Pastor
here.
Aaron. Like, someone's gotta take them.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. They're not picking me up because of my skills. Oh man.
And they're cheering you on, like, it's okay, good job, it's okay.
I'm getting encouragement because like of my spiritual maturity. It's nothing that I'm doing on the court. Now H pulls up. Okay, H comes, and then he brings like these young goons. They come through, and they're just like, they're dunking on it.
Embarrassing
Like,
everyone.
yeah, they're off the backboard, jumping out. And no mercy at all. Like, no mercy at all.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I had that epiphany. Like, am I the old guy with the keys?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and that's my wife. And so then it's like, okay, then was I ever good at basketball?
Apparently not.
Nah, not. I got cut from more teams than I've played on. So
That
I
builds
would just say
character.
Sure does.
That it helps with sermons. Because now I preach at camps, and then it's crazy because I'll take my daughters to the camps, and then like my girls know all my preaching stories. So then they share them, but they like to their friends. Well, yeah, because my dad sucks in basketball and he never played and everything. I'm like, chill. It's connected to like a greater part of like like. But yeah.
Resilience, perseverance.
Yes. Yes. What would you choose?
Sport? Swim. Hello.
You can't. That was what you did in high
you
school.
didn't say that. You said soccer or basketball.
Yeah,
you never
because
said
that was their jam. What would you do? Like I can't choose
Gymnastics.
because I would choose cross country.
Ooh.
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
But you were a cheerleader.
You didn't.
Okay, so you always a rule breaker. Okay.
What about rugby? No one said rugby.
I don't. Contact
Rugby's tough.
sports is
That's
tough for
dope,
me.
though.
You know what I
fun.
really respect, and I did handball. I was watching women's handball.
I grew up. See, my version of handball is like.
You use your hand, you get a little
Well,
ball
'cause I
against
mean,
the
like
wall.
you like the ones that you play in prison.
The cholos.
Like like against
Yeah,
the wall.
uh-huh.
They were playing like it looked like a soccer
it was like
slash
soccer,
Yes.
basketball.
basketball.
You jump
slash-
and
little
throw it in the net.
goalie. In
yeah,
the, yep.
I've never seen that version of
Me
handball.
neither. I was shook.
I think you would be dope at that though.
That's the other one I was thinking about. I didn't remember the name, but I think I would do that too.
We
It's
thought it
called
was
handball?
called something else, but they called the handball in the
Yeah, it's
Olympics.
called
It's
handball.
called handball, but it
Yeah.
looks like a
Huh.
soccer field.
Like a small.
That would be fun.
You can So my
Blur.
brother taught me you can take 5 steps, then you have to take a dribble, and then you're scoring in the net. And I like the fact that they were like actually going back and forth and scoring with action.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. Huh, interesting.
Yeah. New sport I learned. I mean,
Wow.
hey, what are your guys' thoughts about the Olympian? I forgot what country that he was from. The shooter that would just with his hand in
Oh,
his pocket.
Turkey.
That was the coolest
Turkey.
thing I saw
Well, everyone's
all
all with-
Olympics.
Oh.
I was hyped. I was hyped.
I was like,
did he
oh,
did he
this
win?
He got a silver.
silver. Yeah, he did place.
But this man looked like he rolled out of bed.
Uh-huh.
He looked like he.
No
Because you see all the
equipment?
all the other
They all had, like,
shooters
magnifying
have like these really
glasses.
high tech glasses and ear protection, and I go shooting, so I know like the difference. And he just had like these little baby earplugs. Even I have something this big when I go shooting, and he just
With his hand in his pocket, though. Like, with his hand in his pocket.
the most nonchalant thing I've ever seen. I was like, this is so cool. I'm scared of
That's
him.
definitely the Olympics meme for sure. Yeah, because
Yeah,
everyone,
yeah.
everyone's doing it for celebration. You know,
Yeah.
whether they win a gold, shoot a 3-pointer.
Right.
You know what I learned, and I was like, oh, everybody does this. When they were doing archery, they put the thing across their nose and just across their lip and just right. So I thought, okay, that's her style. But then her teammate did that. So I'm like, that's a thing. You got to put it on your lips and your nose, and then boom, bullseye.
That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite one, synchronized diving.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because I like the dancing under the water. I suck too much at swimming. I've been watching swimming because we were doing a lot of watching a lot of the trials, and then man, I could be a swimmer, and then I just do like 2 laps back and forth, and but I'm working up my endurance. But then when I see these people doing these crazy flips, but together, and then you're doing all that, but like minimal splash, like I think we can do that. Me and you.
Training starts today.
Yeah.
I think I could, and I don't know about you.
See, and this is why we wouldn't go on. Her dream would be to go on The Amazing Race.
Yep. I
But
want to go on the
that's
Amazing Race.
why we wouldn't do good, because like I'm good at strategy, right? She's great at perseverance and blah 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 blah. But then
Directions.
but then like we have
You
to
suck
we
at-
see we got to encourage the team.
No, listen.
So she'll be, oh,
listen.
you suck at this. You're not good at this.
we were married already, and besides however long we dated and married, and we would go to visit my mom, he's like, how do we get to your mom's again? It's like 10 years in. You still don't know how to get to my mom's house? Like, how do you just not know how to arrive somewhere you've been at multiple times?
So here's the great news. There are certain things that like I'm not good at that you are. And there's certain things you're not good at that I am. That's what makes a team. But there's things that come easy to Erica, and she's like, what do you mean you can't make a cake? Like, or she'll tell me like, hey, can you go to the grocery store and get this? I go into the grocery store, and I'm just like, oh God.
But I mean, it's just, okay, making a cake, that's over exaggeration because that's what you do, Pastor. Going grocery shopping, like, how do you just not know where to find something at a store?
It's hard. No, it's hard. No, like.
I need a list.
No, I need a list.
give him a list,
okay.
but
But
he
I
needs
need
to know.
pictures.
He needs a picture.
No,
he
because
needs to
here's-
know which
here's what I
way
have
when you
an
go
issue
in,
with.
do you go left or
You
right?
know, here's what I have an issue with. Or do you ever go grocery shopping?
Yeah.
Okay. Does Cassandra audit what you get and give like, oh, you got this or you got the wrong one? Why'd you
I
get this one?
audit you? You know, we should just change the subject before this turns into a marriage counseling therapy session.
Can we change this emblem to Beyond I Do? And then we can.
Next, talk about the next subject.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
The Olympics.
No,
you
we
guys
were
are a
talking.
team.
The
Yeah, we're
You get your
synchronized
team.
divers.
Synchronized. Yeah.
You know, this will be a good time. Who's this? Gabe? Gabe's been in the shoe pocket lately. I respect your shoes. Can we look at this?
Hey.
Can we look at this clip? I have a vision of something me and my wife can do together. Let's look at this.
Dang.
Bruh. Oh,
That would be your dream to flip like that.
well, you just killed my dreams. That's fine. No, it's not my
You
dream.
don't have.
I don't have what.
Do you guys ever work out together, like at the gym? Do you guys
Oh,
ever?
oh,
Did you
Go
not
to-
hear the
Oh,
last Beyond the
God.
Letter podcast?
Oh,
Let's just
God.
not go there.
Yeah.
You don't have. What's the word I'm looking for?
Discipline.
Rhythm?
Coordination.
Coordination,
Coordination. Oh.
rhythm. You two-step. That's all. You wouldn't know how to like point your
I
toes.
do a good two-step though. My two-step has some swag to it. Okay.
But
so
I'm happy to hear that it'd be a dream, because some
Okay, so-
dreams happen and some are just not ever attainable.
amen. So let's hear. Obviously, this side we're not athletes, right? And we got some stuff that we got to work through. Let's hear
hear from the athletes.
Let's hear from the athletes. Okay, when you're seeing that, what are some fresh thoughts that just come to mind about seeing two athletes do that together?
Discipline, time, sacrifice. How many hours do you take to master just one movement? You know, so I'm thinking basketball, right? Like, put in the hours to master a certain jump shot or shooting 500 shots a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they're doing that at that level. So I'm like, man, that shows you a lot of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, when I was watching the Olympics and even that video, what comes to mind is like, this is just what we see.
Yes.
We have no idea, and we can't even comprehend all of the things that we haven't been able to see that lead up to those moments. And for me, just like what you're saying, it's so much hard work, so much discipline, so much blood, sweat, and tears, literally, and all for just like being ready for that specific moment.
I think it requires trust,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
with the hard work, with the hours and the practice, you still have to trust a partner
That's the thing.
to execute precisely the exact move, right? And I know that it takes the practice, but if one person is mentally off or having a bad day, that can ruin that other person's chances or ability to score high. So I think it takes a lot of trust.
For sure. Can you guys picture me and Erica arguing up the stairs? Why'd you wear that bathing suit? Shut up, Aaron. Why are you wearing can you? And then
Why are
we
your
get
shorts so short?
yeah. No, this is a new trend, And then like us locking it, like there has to be so much unity.
Yeah.
Because like my first question when I see that is, who's the leader? Because when you're looking at it, it's like at one angle, it just looks like one person. Like they're so in sync that it's like, who's leading it then? Who's
You bring up a good point. Like I think of because there can be something like we were having a discussion about who's better at certain things, right? But there has to come a point in like a partnership like that where, let's say I am better at a specific, I don't know, skill set, but in communication, Aaron's way better than me, right? So comes a point in a partnership, especially working together in the Olympics, where I know that even if I'm better in this move, I need to hear, right, have better communication with my partner to have better execution. And so like humbling myself enough to be like, you know what, let him lead or let that person lead, because I know if they lead, then the execution will be on point.
Yeah, or like what moves we choose that work best together. Like you may be able to do some things individually, but that's not the season. That's not the
Right.
race. That's not the competition. It's like, what can you guys both lock in together? So, like what you said, putting up 500 shots, that's individual discipline. So, like, if one, even if they execute it perfectly, one splashes, one doesn't. Now they both are like, that's what makes it really tough. That's why I
Yeah.
think it's one of like the best things in the Olympics, because it's like the Olympics is about like, okay, you are the best, but this one is we are the best, which is a totally different type of situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just in all aspects of life besides the Olympics. I mean, you guys run whole departments, but you guys have a team, right? Like, it requires the team to put in the same amount of effort, fight, grit to execute VBS or to execute, you know, a young adult night or whatever it is that you guys put together. Like, somebody has to step up, and then someone has to just take, you know, follow. And so it requires a lot of commitment and humbleness and just work to get stuff done.
No, definitely. I think some of the best leaders have the ability to look at their team and pull out the best from whatever their natural abilities are. So, you know, you're not going to look at a leader and expect them to do what you can do. You're going to look and see, well, I can identify your strengths, and how can we each be a different puzzle piece to create the bigger picture. But that takes a lot of self-awareness too.
Yeah.
Because I think you also have to be able to identify, well, what am I first lacking as the leader, and prayerfully build a strong team that are able to fill in the gaps for that.
That's what takes humility, because that means the leader has to first of all be self-aware about, I'm not good at directions. Man, thank God my wife is. Or I could be like, I got to get good at directions. I have to be best at logistics. And it's like, no, that's not my wiring. But like, but my wife's on my team. So why do I even have to think about that if she has my back in that type thing? But if I'm prideful, I could be threatened by somebody on my team that does something better than me. Like I think about Jermaine. Is he in here?
No.
He's wildly more creative than me, right? Like we were texting last night at like 11 o'clock last night, and it's like, man, this guy has so much creativity, and he's still asking for my input, right? Now, if I was threatened by his creativity, he may not be so open to ask what I think about communication or leadership or strategy or getting the best out of people, et cetera, et cetera. So like we need the strengths of the entire team.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
So how have you guys connected athletics to leading in ministry?
That's a great question. And actually, I think about this all the time, because whether it's ministry or whether it's just been like my previous roles in secular business, in the secular world for business, a lot of people want to hire athletes. And that's like one of their like things that they want to check off, just because they know that there's a certain mindset that comes with being a former athlete, and that's something that they think that can easily integrate into whatever business or company that they're running. So for me, I'm so wired to be a part of a team, to want to see the individual next to me succeed, because if you win, then I win and we win, and being able to understand the bigger picture. I think sometimes if you haven't played a sport before, there might be this concept of just not being able to open and look around and see the individuals around you and how they play a part. You might just have like this kind of tunnel vision because you're just not used to what it looks like to working together with people.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's good.
I thought of Faith's softball coach. So
Okay.
he's coached for quite some time. He's coached high school as well, but he was also a ref for a long time. And he talked to the girls the other day, like we had the first meeting, the first meet and greet meeting. And he has a few friends that are university coaches, and they go scout. And he said, I know exactly what it is that these coaches look for. Is it skill? Not always so. He said they want to see that when you strike out, how do you respond to that when you strike out? When your team or you miss a play, like, are you encouraging that person that missed the play? Like, they want to see how you interact with your team, because they want to pick people that are going to be able to work together to reach a level of success or a title or a championship. Yes, their skill requires some skill set, but that's not necessarily what they're looking at right off the bat when they go scout. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I'd be like, get the person that hits the most home runs or whatever, you know. But no, it's about how do you play with the rest of the team? How do you interact with the rest of the team? How do you respond with the team? And that was interesting.
You can go further, too, when you're part of a team. So, like, for example, when I was at Fresno State, we had fitness tests. Everyone hates fitness tests, right? And so for ours, we did the fitness test the first day of preseason. One of my teammates, I found out that she was going to have to run the fitness test by herself the next day because for some reason she was ineligible to start and get on the field the first day. So once I found out she was going to have to run by herself, I'm like, oh, this girl ain't going to pass it, because nobody can really, I mean, you can, but there's nothing quite like having someone to run with and to push you to make sure that you guys can go further. So I think for me, it just gives perspective to think like, I can go far on my own, but if I partnered up with someone, and this can be applied into a bunch of different aspects of life, if you partner up with someone, you can go a lot farther, and you can you'd be pushed further.
For sure.
That's good. Yeah, I had the unique opportunity to be on both sides.
Okay.
I coached 5 years at Awana High School for freshman basketball, but on the athlete side, I think what translate well is mental fortitude, because when the going gets tough, you know, you're able to now in ministry when things are difficult, things are hard, people you get offended, people said this, you already have a mental, you know, upbringing that you're just ready to handle stuff. But then you learn teamwork, you learn team building, you learn grit, you learn sacrifice, you learn discipline. So being part of a team, you learn all of that in 4 years of high school or 3 years of middle school. But on the other side of coaching, you're able to do there's this acronym called COACH. So COACH is correct, observe, affirm, connect, and help. So on that side is you're connecting the athlete to the bigger picture of the team. You're observing their weaknesses and saying, hey, let's strategize the strength of someone else. And then you're correcting them if they're out of line. And you're affirming them. You know, you're saying, hey, you did well this game, but next game you can do better. And then you help them through it all. And so it's good to be part of a team, you know, and it's good to play sports early on, because you learn not just the mental aspect of it, but you learn just in life in general, you know, all these things that not just give you life skills, but really get you ready for, you know, anything that you deal with in your head and your mind, and you know what you move forward with. So
yeah, last night I went home after the Bible sprint, was so happy for our church, 1,000 people hungry to get in the Word of God, and Pastor Adam, Pastor Heron, and myself are on a team doing this 5-week thing. But I went home and I didn't tell my wife about though Pastor Adam's teaching was phenomenal, practical. We sent some text messages, but I told my wife, I said, hey, babe, Pastor Heron inspired me last night, because I'm trying to organize. I'm always thinking through strategy and make sure pastors go back. So we send text, 7:15, we're going to go on stage, we're going to do this, and that. So then I'm calling H, he's not picking up. Like, where's H at? Where's H? But then I see him because I see his hat. What am I, this guy right here? He was grabbing water and he was grabbing ice. So when I went to him, I'm looking at what he's doing for the team.
Yeah.
So I went home, I said, I rock with H, because it's not about being on stage. It's not about getting the attention. It's about, I'm a team player, so I'm going to do whatever the team needs to win. So in that moment, the team win was making sure that the beverages were cold for the, you know. So I was like, I went home and told my wife, I said, man, H inspired me yesterday. Because, and that's the thing about ministry and athletics, we watch. Like in athletics, people watch film to get better. In ministry, like, people aren't just watching when you give a sermon or a talk or your volunteer meeting. They're watching how they feel when they come up and introduce themselves to you. Are you too occupied? Are you on your phone? Or do you make them feel like they're the only person at the church? Hey, what's your name?
Right.
How are you doing? And some of those impressions actually are long lasting than the sermon or whatever the case may be. So I think that team aspect, not only like what you said, like who's the highest skilled, but like you want people on the team that can make an impact and then that can carry over. So now I'm challenged on like, okay, how can I help the team in other tangible ways, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah. Well, and I mean, so many people think of ministry as just the platform, but you know, the percentage of the platform is so low considering everything you guys do and everything that happens outside of the platform, right? And I think it was in Beyond the Letter, or one of the podcasts that we've done. It's like when you mentioned like how do you make people feel. People will remember how you made them feel, not what you did for them.
yeah.
People always forget the moments that you did something, but they'll never
said something.
forget or said, but not how they felt in that moment, whether it was good or bad. That's
Yeah.
what they remember.
Yeah, I would say this more often in Pomona. But when I was training our leaders, I was like, hey, I want you to picture your name appearing on your team's cell phone. What are they thinking in that moment? That's Aaron. He's probably checking to see how I'm doing, or he wants something from me. Like it takes 4 seconds for somebody to and that's how I feel when I'm around that person. They only hit me up when they want something, or do they even really notice me as a person? So it's like when we call people as leaders, I would encourage us to think through like, when's the last time I just asked about them, or if I can pray for them, or how they're actually doing. So that's the part that you're saying a coach will connect and correct. And I think my philosophy is you connect before you correct. Because just because somebody has a title doesn't mean you have jurisdiction to correct them.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't demonstrated that you care, then that correction, I haven't invited you in. But when we demonstrate that, no, I want a genuine connection, then the correction is more trusted because it could be coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. And it just, I think it goes back to like relational equity. It's really tough when you put yourself in a position where you now have to approach someone with some type of correction, with some type of feedback, but you haven't been able to display that I care about you. So if they don't know your heart posture behind what you have to say, it's not going to be palatable for them most of the time.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
tough.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I remember I was coaching here at the church, and I had a kid on the team. He was the best kid on the team by far. And my goal was to try to help him to become a better leader, and his job was leadership was I need to score the most and we need to win. But I was trying to help him. Leadership is trying to also get the best out of your team. So then there's one time I was like, hey man, why don't you lead our prayer before the game? So I don't really be praying in public. I said, it's only one way to start. He said, what do I do? I said, just pray whatever's on your heart, man.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah, I don't be telling people to pray on whatever's on their heart anymore. So we closed our eyes, we held hands. He was like, dear Lord, bring me some better players in Jesus' name. Amen.
I thought that was the direction that was going.
I was like, wait, these people are going to be on your team now. I mean, he's sharing what's in his heart, but I think once we become adults, what ends up happening is we're not that blatant, but people can feel that.
I have a question because you said, talking about this kid who it sounds like his priority was winning. As leaders, let's say you have a win, but the team, it's probably, whether it's emotionally or physically, mentally, the worst probably they've ever been. How does that make you guys feel as leaders?
Unpack that a little bit more. We won, but
let's say you executed something, outcome was great, but the team suffered through it.
Okay.
Like the team itself overall, like I'm thinking of these players who like the one kid is saying, get me other team players. But so they're probably feeling like man, through this process, like I felt defeated. I felt
Got it.
overran. I felt whatever it is that, just a team goes through as they're building something or as they're executing an event or whatever it is. Like as leaders, when you see your team just.
Yeah, I got you. I would say, and I would love H and Alyssa's
Yeah.
perspective. I would say like a practical example is Patria for the first time is going to put on a conference,
Okay.
right? So I think as leaders, we have to first define what the wins are. Because if we don't define what the wins are, then big teams will have all these different definitions of the win, and some will feel great and some will feel terrible. So I think the leader provides clarity on what the win is, and the leader provides clarity on the pain that it's going to take to get there. So, as far as like the mental fortitude that you talk about, like, so in order for us to get these 3 wins, man, we're going to have to sacrifice more because it's coming off of At the Movies. It's coming off of VBS. It's coming, So as the leader is being aware of what is the capacity of our team, because it's like sometimes in leadership, somebody can give their best and it's still not the standard. So then you got to consider, like, is this the right seat on the bus for that person? Those are hard conversations, hard decisions, et cetera, et cetera. But I think, first of all, clarifying the wins. So if I am coaching the Lakers and I come out as the coach and I say, this season we are going to be champions, that may not be a realistic win. If I say this season we're going to increase our field goal percentage by 2%, we are going to increase our rebounds, we are going to get 2 first draft picks. Like, I'm setting these wins with milestones that are going to keep the team encouraged. So I think some of the things that why people get defeated in the pursuit of getting a win, we don't know what the wins are, and we didn't know that it would cost us this much. So I think the leader has to recognize that, and then I think the leader has to partner with the team on shifting priorities to help with the wins.
For sure. Yeah, I would say it just comes down to communication. I remember coaching UCA here for 6th graders, and they just came off of a winning season, undefeated, same players, but now a little older. And we meet with the coach. We're like, what can we do to get them to not just win? And so I sat down with each player individually, and we wrote out a map for them. Like, hey, per game, I need you to grab 2 rebounds. Hey, per game, I need you to set 2 screens. And so every game they played, they had their little sheet.
That's great.
And they're looking at it. Okay, this is the coach's expectation. This is what I need to do, even though we may not win, because eventually we did lose a game. And so, but they accomplished what the team needed from them. And so I would say, just whatever on top of what you said, but just adding communication, clear directive and communication, because it's not just about winning. Yeah, it's like, hey, let's get you individually to help the team get to a place of healthiness. So I would just add that as communication.
And I want to add acknowledgement, because a good coach can temperature check and see when everyone's tired or maybe a little bit beat up. And, if it's the sports world, then it calls for like a rest and recovery day, right? But very practical example is like when we got off of VBS, we're all tired. And so we looked around at each other and I'm like, hey guys, I know you guys are tired. A lot of the times when it comes to Vacation Bible School, people tend to think that it's just we're just entertaining the kids. I said, but there's a lot of spiritual warfare that goes into it as well, because the enemy wouldn't want to see 500 kids praise Jesus. So let's be very realistic about where we're at right now. Are we tired? Do we need to, take a little break? Like, what things do we need to do? And let's acknowledge that week that we just put in, because it was a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Great feedback.
You're a leader too, babe. What would you say?
Oh man. I think you guys did an excellent job explaining it. I like what well, for me, it would be like frequent check-ins.
That's good.
Because sometimes we are headed towards whatever the win is that's defined, but sometimes we have to pivot because, life throws wrenches our way and things can happen and we have to pivot unexpectedly. So frequent check-ins in regards to like, hey, we discussed this was what the win was, and we know that, you know, we're executing our first conference, and so we have all these things still to do besides the conference leading up to it. And so we're going to have to, whether it's record, I know you guys do a lot of recording, or, you know, just printing stuff up, like we're going to have to execute it sooner. So what do we have to do? Who has what on their plates, so that we can get in together and help each other out, just to check in on each individual, like what's on your plate, where are you at with this, because we have to pivot to do this now. So what do you need taken off? What do you need, you know, help with, or who can I put with you or partner you up with to continue moving steps forward when we have to pivot, is what I would say. I think just frequent check-ins, because sometimes we think that we give people the vision or what the win is, and we tell them what it's going to take to get there, and then we're like, go, right? And then, like I said, life happens and things have to change unexpectedly. But then we forget to like check in, like, hey, I know we had to pivot this way. Where are you at? What do you need help with, or what you know, who can I partner you with?
I think that's such a dance too, because it's like I remember having a conversation with somebody on my team, and it's like, it's because I trust you that I just let you run.
Yeah.
But it was being interpreted that you're not supporting me. So I think those check-ins and that communication is very helpful, because like I think a manager has to treat everyone the same, but a good leader has to treat everyone different. So it's always tension. Like the way I'm going to talk to H is not the same way I'm going to talk to Alyssa, the same way I'm going to talk to my wife or whatever, while trying to be fair, honest, and consistent. So that, I think that's an art form. Like, and I've learned it through like just failure. Like, okay, gone too far in that conversation. I wasn't blunt enough in that conversation. I should have just asked that question. After that, I should have just let, you know. So like the more, I would say, to add on to that, is the more that we are coachable. The more that we're coachable, it helps us to have credibility to be a good coach. Because as soon as you said, like, here's the vision, here's the play, go. The first play that came up in my mind, that's Pastor Diego, what he told me for Pomona. And there were times where, with him being my coach, man, where is he?
Yeah.
But now in hindsight, I was able to grow so much more because there were just things I had to figure out. And now I know in his wisdom, he would allow safe places of failure. Like he knew failure is going to be a part of the journey, but it's not going to impact the church, but it's going to help Aaron in his faith journey and his pain tolerance, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I think it's a dance to like, okay, this employee or this teammate or whatever needs guidance, but they also need grit. So, you know, Faith's going to strike out again and again and again. And it's like, I want to squeeze her every time. You know, I just want to like, but no. Like, how will she work through her disappointments? Trinity the other day, we're leaving Disneyland. And I turned around and she's like crying.
She has tears in her eyes.
And so I'm just like, well, as a dad, it's like, yo, stop being spoiled, yo. Like you got fast passes, you got all these things, you got bubbles, yeah, all these things. It's like, there's one thing you don't like, and now you're crying. Maxine's right here, right? So I'm like, you're gonna have to work this out and get it together.
Yeah.
Get that emotion together, because we're about to take a family picture for Faith's birthday. It was like 30 seconds later, right?
Yeah.
So that's why. And if you look on Instagram, she's, you know. But then what happened was we're walking towards the car and she started talking and asking questions. Oh, what are you guys looking at? So then when we got in the car, I said, hey, Trinity, I'm proud of you. You worked through that well. You started engaging. You see what I'm saying? What I wanted to do is, there's a part of me as a dad, I'm going to put my arm around her anytime she cries. But I know there's going to be a season where I can't do that for Eileen. So it's like, it's an art of like, I want to be tough on Trinity sometimes because the world is tough and it's not always your turn. You don't get your way all the time. But then like your last name's Levy though, and I want you to be blessed. So I don't know what I'm doing, but it's like, that's why I think it's a tension.
And and taking people the way they, I guess, get motivated and encouraged. Everyone is different, right? Like some people, you do have to be like mindful of how you communicate to them so that they receive it in one way. Where there's like me, like you just got to be like, Erica, shut up, go do this, get it done, got it, go, right? And so it's like navigating the different types of the way people receive feedback, or to get encouraged and pushed to go further. It is a major dance, like navigating all the things that we do as leaders and working with different people to ensure we're all headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I just thought about the great coaches. Phil Jackson treated Shaq differently, treated Kobe differently.
Dennis
Nick
Rodman
Saban,
differently.
Dennis Rodman differently. So I'm like, those coaches know their players, so they spend time with them. They make sure they know the person, so that way when they do coach them, they steer them towards the right direction. I was just thinking about all the great coaches out there that the reason why they're great coaches is because they care, right?
Well, listen, I got a question for you, like, because you've had a lot of coaches. Would you say you had great coaches? So then you know how you respond well to coaching. But now you're married and you have a husband.
I do.
Okay, so kind of talk about like, you know how you respond well and rise to a challenge from a coach. Now, what if your husband talked to you in that same dialogue? Is it different because he's your husband, or is it kind of?
That's a funny question. So I'll say this. With the coaching and everything, I think that there's an end goal in mind. So when they're talking to me a specific way, it doesn't really matter or faze me because, once again, the end goal is in mind. So in the very same way, now with my husband, whenever let's just say we have a disagreement or he needs to bring some type of correction to me, I am always open because, once again, there's an end goal in mind. Okay. So, for example, budgeting, right? As long as I have the understanding of, okay, well, we need this much to buy a house and this is why you can't spend money on this, then, shame on me if I do go outside of what we agreed on to begin with, if I'm not on your team and facing the end goal. So that to say, as long as I have a clear understanding of what we're working towards and what is considered a win, let's say, for the sake of conversation, then I don't play too much into the stuff that's more fluff, if you will.
Okay. So what type of coach, describe the best soccer coach you've had and why were they your best soccer coach?
I've had many coaches, most of which were not the best, I'll be honest. Okay. They all have different strengths.
Okay.
I actually would say that my favorite coach wasn't even a soccer coach. I think that sometimes soccer coaches are a little bit crazy, and that's just how they are. My favorite coach was actually a basketball coach when I played basketball.
You're a hooper.
A little bit, something. Not enough. But please, if you see me in this, don't ask me if I want to go play.
We should do basketball. We should do basketball next year.
I do not want to go
5-on-5.
We should do that.
5-on-5.
Yes.
I'll be the cheerleader.
I would be tier 1. I would be tier 1.
You would be tier 1.
I would be tier 3. It's okay.
Okay.
So I would say some of the key
we should do
characteristics.
Oh my gosh.
We should do like an Olympics. And have multiple
so we can do multiple sports?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we should do
everyone can be involved.
Chipping.
Yes.
We should do badminton. We should you
Table
pick
tennis.
a team and then you
Patriot
strategize
Olympics
with your team.
2025.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Can we go to the range? Because I'm gonna be the guy with the hand in my pocket.
We should. You know what? If we kill it in the conference.
Yeah.
We may have to do like a Patriot Olympics. Okay, sorry.
All right, talking about your coach.
Sure. No, so I guess the characteristics of my really good coaches would be that they're able to identify my strengths, and work with me. I would say I've had some not so great coaches that are very egocentric. So it's not about necessarily like the team or the girls on the team, but it's a matter of pride, and it's like, I lost. So they take it very personal.
Got it.
But the best coaches are the ones who are able to, once again, see the greater picture and pull together the team and inspire, because coaching is a little tough because everyone's a little bit different. And I think that, you know, if you're able to lay the team out, you know, if you're looking at everyone you have on the roster, you should be able to identify key strengths in each individual. And also going back to what you said earlier, the main thing is also being coachable. So as long as you can lay out your roster and you know that everyone is coachable and you're able to identify their key strengths, like that's huge. Because I know even for myself, like I wasn't always the tallest or the fastest or the strongest, but I think the best compliment I had ever gotten from a coach was that I was coachable.
Okay.
So
I have
the
a
ones
question
who are
to add with
go
that.
ahead.
What makes someone coachable?
So I think for me personally, someone that they can easily tell me, hey, like if we're talking sports, like, hey, this is why you didn't, for me, because I'm a goalie, this is why you didn't make that save. Get lower, make sure that you just like little easy things that I can tweak. Or the consistent behavior of just being ready to change something about whatever you're doing. So willingness to pivot, being flexible, attitude, that's huge.
For sure.
Being ready to receive, not having a posture of I'm so great, I don't need any correction. The best players need some form of correction.
And the reason I ask is I think sometimes many people say, I am coachable. Like, yeah, but then when they're approached, it's different.
Yeah, I would say any person that says they're coachable should reflect, then who am I proactively asking questions about my blind spots? If you're not proactively asking questions about your blind spots, how are you coachable? Because when you said be ready for feedback, the best way you could be ready for feedback is ask for it. If you're caught off guard with feedback, it's because that muscle hasn't been practiced through just proactively asking.
Got it.
Like, hey babe, what am I missing here? Hey, where can I improve here? Hey babe, hey, let's check. I do this all sometimes with my wife. Hey, let's check in on my humility. How has that been? How would you describe me this season? Blah blah. So it's practicing. It's like it's asking for accountability, so you don't have to be held accountable. I think those that get held accountable is because they're not seeking accountability. So I think a quality of being coachable is I'm humble enough to know I'm not the best, but I'll give my best. So in order for me to keep giving my best, I got to ask people around me what my blind spots are. So I believe like a lot of things that we call character flaws aren't character flaws if somebody's not telling them. They're blind spots. But if somebody tells that person, yo, this is a blind spot, and it persists, then that becomes a character flaw because I've ignored that coaching. So you take that to sports. Like, hey, man, in basketball, if you develop your left hand more, then that's going to give you more versatility as a player. I don't need to do that. Now you've capped yourself. Now you have a flaw, and all we have to do is look at the tape, and then all we got to do is cut off your left hand, and then you're done, right? So I think coachability is how often am I, Aaron Levy, going to people that are in the journey longer than me and asking, yo, show me what play should I run in this, or how did I do in this, or what should I? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I mean, and I just asked that because I think people often be like, I am coachable.
Because they're coaching themselves.
But
So that's isolation. Yeah. I mean, how would you define coachability?
I was
As
just
a
thinking
prior
about
coach.
the Chicago Bears on HBO Max, right?
Okay.
You just see levels of coachability because, on one hand, if you play sports, you don't get paid, but then you go to the professional level, it's a whole different
For sure.
tier of like coachability. So I think you got to define that, but taking correction well, right? Receiving correction, not isolating yourself. I just remember my coach, who is still coaching at Etowah High School, Coach Kleckner. He modeled it well, and so because he modeled it well, it made me want to learn from him more. So I'm like, I want to know what it means to be a man, because he would often say, "Hey, basketball is it's about life. It's decisions you make that reflect whether it's good or bad, and the consequences are this is what it is." And I remember we were playing Rancho Cucamonga High School for the championship game, and prior to the game, we're in practice, and he was yelling at me the whole game because my foot was on the 3-point line. and we won by 1 point on my 3-point shot. So I'm like, so he was just like, hey, this is so the fact that he saw the weakness in me, but then, me realizing that this is what it takes to win. I look up, I look at those factors. Someone that's correctable. Someone that's not isolating themselves. Can the coach model that, and then from there, yeah, you go.
Yeah.
Love that. Modeling it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, as I'm hearing you talk about basketball is about life, it just reminds me of my relationship with faith, because I love seeing more. I learn more about my daughter when I see her interact with her peers, interact in a team sport that she's not the best in. Like, one of the best qualities I saw in my daughter was one of her best friends, Kaylee, was like the best player on her team. And she makes this like grand slam play, wins the game,
walk-off grand slam,
and is on ESPN, bro, as a 12-year-old.
That's cool.
So my daughter runs upstairs with her tablet. Look at Kaylee, she made that, and it's like, that's the play. Like, being able to celebrate someone else means that you're coachable, because like being a great team member is like, I'm not the only one trying to win. You were doing like that earlier. Like, no. Like, if the team wins, we win. So like, I loved seeing Faith. Faith hasn't hit a home run yet. And Faith doesn't need to hit a home run if the team wins. And so there's a lot of character exposure when you're on a team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
good.
Yeah. Well, great good that we talked about the resident athletes on here and get some perspective. I gotta
All-pro swimmer here.
before we get out of here, if we do this Patriot Olympics, what sport would you guys think Gabe would be best at? If we put Gabe in the Patriot Olympics,
Basketball, pickleball.
No, that handball game.
he plays basketball.
Little basketball.
Why do you say
No,
it like
he'd be good at that handball game for sure.
questioning?
Handball.
Why do you question?
I would say pickleball.
Pickleball. Okay.
Handball turns out is just water polo without the water.
Did you used to play water polo in school?
I did not.
Oh.
Well, he
Did you
answered.
play any sports in high school?
I did not.
Okay.
No,
So are you athletic?
I am not.
Gabe surprises me though. No, he is. Like, I wanted him on my dodgeball team because when we played that, what's that
He
game
was
we play in
he was
youth with
sneaky.
the little
9 square.
9 square. He's good at 9 square.
Got it.
He's good at
That should be an
dodgeball.
Olympic game then.
Volleyball.
2025.
Oh, he's good at volleyball.
Volleyball.
Jermaine's good at volleyball. I've never seen Gabe play.
So he's good at community, or like what's he?
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to hype him up. That's why I say pickleball. He ain't respond.
I gotta. No, I need to know something.
He'll be a
Officially-
cheerleader with me on the sideline.
Officially on the record, who's better in pickleball, Gabe or Colin?
I haven't played with Colin in a long time.
But you've seen
That's a
both
good
of them.
question.
You've seen both of them play.
Yeah.
I know they're your brothers in the Lord. But
I would
but
say
Tears them.
Gabe has a slight upper hand. Just-
Colin is so
yeah.
athletic. Like
He's
he has-
athletic.
He has a natural.
But in
athlete.
pickleball, you don't have to be athletic.
So you kind of like encouraged, but diss both of them. It's a good coach. You're good. You're a good coach.
No, H is wild at pickleball though.
H is wild at
wild.
what I love about H over the years is he knows how to lock into something.
Right.
What is like scripture memorization, a golf swing, pickleball,
Dodgeball.
Yeah, say dodgeball. Oddly, like I don't even know where he's been training. Like, so weird.
If we do the Patriot Olympics, and Alyssa, you're the team captain, what sport would you hope you could put Erica on?
No,
we're not
not swimming.
I think I'd be good at rugby.
Oh yeah, I could beat some people up.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds like fun. Let's do rugby.
If I just have to hold the ball and
Yes.
I could do that.
Have you seen Erica run?
I haven't. She can always play goalie though. Is there a goalie?
I don't know.
You guys know that Erica has a Patriot Run Club shirt.
Cause
So
you
do
gave
I,
it to-
actually. Funny enough. I use it when I go to the gym. It's like my sweat rag.
It's
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You guys
know-
are walking billboards, marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've ran. I just don't like it.
Here's my goal. Here's our goal. We'll be in our 70s if the Rapture is not here. We'll be in our 70s, and we'll be running on the beach together.
You 70? How about 60?
That's pretty soon
That's
for you.
coming
I mean, that's pretty, you better start locking in. Try to give you some runway here.
At 70,
I feel
ain't
you,
trying to
Erica,
be
because
running.
you know my wife. She loves to run. I don't love.
Oh, she's a runner.
She can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
runs.
runs.
Oh, nice.
I'm just not a runner.
I don't. I'm not a runner too, so I'm with you.
You're outnumbered here.
Yeah. I think running.
3 non-runners.
Yeah.
So would you include running in Olympics?
We have to. Oh, we have to. We have to.
Yeah, track and
1,500
field.
meters or what?
Track and field
How
isn't
about we
track and
play that
field one
shot
of the
put?
most like.
Oh yeah, shot put be cool.
We should
should
coordinate
do that.
something.
You know
We
what?
should.
Can I be part of it, coordinating that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm signing up for the volunteer team to coordinate all the Olympics, Patriot Olympics 2025.
We got to do it.
If we do it, we got to do it big. We got to do it at a high school or something. Or just say if
Yeah,
we can
because
let's use the field.
now we get a pool.
Rancho
we gotta,
High,
we gotta
Osos
get a
High.
pool. We gotta make a day out of this. Yeah. Wait, we'll
can
we'll
rent
talk
that. We
about
can
this
rent that.
offline.
Right.
But
Yeah.
hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for locking in to Beyond the Letter. Like, comment, subscribe. We love you, community. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.